California, a land of vast natural resources. A living, breathing Garden of Eden. Young mountains that rise from the ocean to the clouds, sunshine, ancient forests, enchanted deserts, fine wines, golden nuggets, lofty green nuggets, and delicious yogurts. Also, one of the best places in the world to experience by bicycle. Award-winning professional bicycle tourist, I have come to rely heavily on technology to bring me to remote places where technology does not exist. GPS, iPhones, and digital camera screens are gazed upon multiple times an hour, distracting the mind from the clarity and presence of the moment that we originally pedaled out here to seek. Realizing the irony in this, we figured it would be a fun idea to do a 100.1% analog trip. Paper maps, Kodak film, and 0 phones. Something that was the norm only 15 years ago, yet virtually unheard of today. This is such a weird time to be alive. And I truly believe that unplugging on the bicycle, specifically the touring bicycle, is the best way to find balance between the old and the new in these precarious times. To leave the city behind and disappear within the granite moonscapes and giant forests of Yosemite and Sequoia National Forest for a week was the plan. An all-star cast of mostly middle-aged bicycle tourists, selected for their musculature to relaxation ratio, was assembled outside the dynamic valley town of Fresno. Our original route was to begin in Yosemite proper. Now engulfed in the all-too-familiar smokescreen of the western summer. The Ferguson fire had begun just a few days ago, now incinerating 97,000 acres of California gold. A few of our models dropped out last minute, but with a reroute, our group was determined to give it a go. The clear California summer skies were painted the pale haze of fire season just about everywhere you looked. This would be the beginning of what would become the most destructive wildfire season in California history. Temperature red, a balmy 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow, that's warm. Steamy, really. Leaving the dynamic attractions of Fresno behind us, we pedaled into the muted sunlight. Bags overfloweth with gourmet food and bagged wine. The purple haze of the evening sky cast upon us as the saturated tones reflected off the shallow reservoir below. Golden hour lasted long enough for all of us to blow through our first rolls of film. The hypercolor sun sunk below the spanning mountains as the temp dropped to a brisk 95 degrees Fahrenheit. It was time to make camp for the night. Not a bad view above, but the view below is mostly lumpy with the occasional tarantula. A lucky few brought hammocks. The rest tempt our fate on the ground with the friendly spiders. We hydrate with a bit of bagged wine while cooking our respective gourmet meals. Lofty greens for dessert, and it's lights out. Stars swirling behind the veil of murk above. The night passed just like any other. But we were outside, synced with the rhythms of the moon, just as life was intended. The sun's radiant heat flowed over the mountains like summer lava, gently simmering its way into our slumbers. Today's appointment was to pedal upwards, 5,000 feet upwards. Perhaps the temperatures will be more favorable at altitude. Then again, perhaps not. The canyon we would traverse carried water down from another reservoir. Despite California's historic drought, we were still able to find the occasional creek and water drip to cool off our engine blocks in. And cool off we did. Brrr. Iced white diamonds, that's refreshing. These are the days of summer, the ones you think of when you simply conceptualize summer. Yet, these days are not without their quicksands. After 2 days of climbing, it was finally time to use gravity in our favor. The quality of life on the road is good. Hours pass in the moment, and the distractions are non-existent. Your valiant horse of air-hardened steel carries upon it everything you could ever need. And while you might not have to live like that, it's lucidly gratifying to know that you can. When immersed in the land, even for a few days, it becomes flagrantly obvious how important water, California's liquid gold, truly is, and just how tragically rare it is becoming. Despite the euphoria of cyclotouring, world-class terrain aside professionally cast models, one could not deny the somber mood that crept into the back of your mind during the hours of meditation that come to time with oneself in the saddle.
Where? Rattlesnake.
Fucking ready to strike, dude.
Yeah.
I know everything about rattlesnakes.
Again, this is a shockingly weird time to be alive. My mind continues to turn to the anxiety-laced thought of, what can we do? What can we do? Well, what can we do? List of conservationists have uttered the importance of conservation, yet money over common sense prevails time and time again, even at the exuberant cost of both humanity and sanity. To seek solace within the grandeur of stoned citadels, where save for the smoke, the toxic follies of man have not yet fully spread their pale and greedy fingers. True that even without us, the mountains will remain, and the wilds will rewild, living on in some way. The ballet of water dancing over the rocks. The sensation of a warm summer breeze whispering through the cottonwoods. are all bigger than us, much bigger. The proverbial God is everywhere if you know where to look. The comfort of this sentiment begs of me to worship these wild places, with every pedal stroke bringing me deeper within the bosom of old Mother Nature. Perhaps you have heard of her. She is waiting for you.